There it goes. Hit home. There it goes. Okay, all right, now. Zoom. Uh-oh, where'd you go?
Sir, how are you?
Not bad. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
There he is.
How did you get extra paper?
Got him.
That shows that you're the.
What?
I don't understand what you're asking. Is it 7:30?
Hey, Tom, can you hear us?
6:30? It's 6:33.
Yeah.
Tom, do you hear us?
Can you hear him?
He may be muted on Zoom, because it was muted.
Hang on, he's calling us.
See if his, pull up the,
Recording in progress.
Hey, Tom, can you hear us?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. Good
That
evening.
helps, whatever you did. Thanks.
Dale, do you have my recorder?
Click the button.
Yeah, that button comes in handy.
Click what, man?
Technology, what can you say?
It's a flip of a switch.
We're wired. It's 6:33. Let's call this meeting to order. The date is February the 24th, 2022. We open the floor for citizens' comments. First thing this evening.
Mr. Mayor, this is a special called town council meeting, and before we approve the agenda, I would like to add an area for citizens' comments right now.
Yeah, me too.
Jim?
yeah, I'm fine.
Derek?
Yes.
Jimmy?
Oh, yeah, yep.
Mr. Jones? I'm good. Okay, we're all good.
All right. Would either of you gentlemen like to speak? All right.
Is that it?
Yep.
Shall we ask if there's anyone online that might want to speak?
Good idea.
Do we have anyone online that would like to speak?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And you are?
Nancy Pearson, Pearson.
And your address?
Field Stream Drive, Stokesdale. Do I need the house number?
No.
Okay,
Please, go ahead. You have the floor.
thank you. So we have a question, my husband and I, who's not attending right now, regarding concessions and what protections we have from price increases if and when a new contract is given, considering what fuel prices may end up doing with the activities in Europe, and what protections are in the contract to protect us from changes in service such as we're experiencing now with price increases and service decreases. Thank you.
Anybody want to take this?
I'll take a stab at it. Ms. Pearson, my name is Derek Foy. I'll do my best to attempt to answer your question, and thank you for asking it. There is some verbiage in the contract that would protect let me start over. There's verbiage in the contract that allows for GFL Environmental to, one time a year in July, look at the inflation based off the consumer price index and make an adjustment to the base price that we're voting on tonight, either up or down based off how inflation has performed, what the data shows that year. There is language in the contract where that price increase should not exceed 5%. In a normal year, inflation probably goes up 2 or 3%. However, this year, we were looking at 7.1%. So that kind of language, 5% max, would be good for all Stokesdale citizens. If we see some deflation this year due to some of the macroeconomical issues, that you've mentioned with what's going on in Europe, or the Fed increasing rates, we would expect GFL to adjust the price down based off deflation year over year. The second part of your question, you mentioned the cost of diesel fuel. That is a very real thing, and that falls outside of the CPI-related annual price. So built in the contract as it reads right now is the cost of fuel is the baseline there is $4. If the cost of diesel fuel increases significantly, I would expect GFL to come to town council and show the data and present their case for a price increase. That is not out of control, that does not fall under the consumer price index area. Other things that could potentially happen that could drive an increase would be a natural disaster. This is just the language in the contract. I don't think we would have a natural disaster that would significantly or increase our price, for waste pickup. Government regulations, including state or federal taxes, that could potentially increase the price for our citizens. Personally, I don't think we're at risk there. Another thing that could potentially increase the price our citizens pay would be if the recycling processing facility or the disposal facility that GFL goes to now for some reason had to close and they had to change that facility where they bring the waste to, and it's significantly further away from Stokesdale, that could potentially impact our price as well. But speaking from just an inflationary standpoint, what I was first speaking of, I think it's good to have that 5% cap in the contract that we do have that would protect our citizens in times of abnormal inflation like we're seeing now. In terms of service, you asked about service. In the contract, it's also wording that the GFL supply some kind of metric on how well they are servicing our citizens in this. And that is something we did not have with the previous, or really I should say our current vendor we use. I know that was a lot. Did that somewhat answer your question?
Yes, sir. Actually, thank you for answering all of my points. May I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
So, and I appreciate you having the public forum for us to be allowed to Zoom in. I'm a hospital administrator, so my days are long, and I'm trying to capture being a part of this virtually. So I do appreciate that. As you know, the service from Republic Waste has degraded over time. Many days, them not picking up on time, being days late, reducing services such as going to, alternating week recycle. So appreciate the panel considering the citizens' needs and keeping costs down, but keeping service amenable to what real life looks like. So thank you for your time and allowing me the moment to represent. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you for all your work you do with our healthcare system. That's a whole lot right now.
It's been a hard 2 years, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Nancy, I would like to add this contract is a public document. It's available from the Stokesdale Town Clerk. It's titled Solid Waste and Recycle Collection, Transportation, and Disposal Processing Agreement. And if anyone's interested, the language regarding the adjustments is in paragraph 8. It's a relatively short and easy to read document. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for your time.
Miss Nancy, one more thing, it's Jim Rigsby. I do want to just emphasize, so sometimes we get lost in the numbers, but there will be an increase with this new contract. It's going to $22.80 per month, which will be $67 every 3 months. We were paying about $57 and some change every 3 months, so there will be an increase. However, it's substantially less than the other bidder, and Guilford County only allows certain people to bid on these contracts, and you have to be on Guilford County's list, and that was the only two that bid on the contract. So we do feel like we've got, even though we're having to go up a little bit, we're getting a better price long-term and hopefully better service.
And also,
Thank you.
to-
Tell me
to-
that price adjustment again. How much will it be? every-
it'll be, you will be billed quarterly, and that amount will be $68.40. I believe right now we pay roughly $61 a quarter.
Okay.
With Republic, to give you an idea of Republic's price that they came in with our RFP, we're paying them currently $61 roughly a quarter. Their new price was $82 a quarter.
Yeah. Okay. And is that still for weekly recycle and trash once a week?
Yes,
That
ma'am.
new price?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for allowing me the time.
Thank you. Next item is the vote for the franchise agreement contract between the town of Stokesdale and GFL Environmental.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Please.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the contract drafted by Stokesdale Town Attorney Tom Medlin for the town of Stokesdale to enter a franchise agreement with GFL Environmental for GFL to service the town's residential properties for waste and recycling pickup, both to occur on a weekly basis. This contract will begin on July 1st of 2022. The contract should include the amended verbiage to cap out any CPI-related annual price increase for the service at 5% annually. GFL would charge Stokesdale citizens $22.80 per month, billed quarterly, in the quarterly amount of $68.40.
I'll second.
All right, we have a second.
All right, second.
Call the question, Jim?
Hold on
Oh,
a second here,
excuse me,
please.
excuse me.
Mr. Medlin, I see that GFL has signed the contract. I don't see where you have signed it as to its legal sufficiency. Will you be doing that later? You have reviewed it, correct?
That's correct. I did, and I reviewed this signed edition versus the draft that I had revised. And the only change to Derek had said he was going to review too, but the only change I saw in there was the cap of the 5% that got added, and that was highlighted. So everything else was the same. And yes, I will be signing it as to legal sufficiency. So
Just checking. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Tim, also, I will not sign it tonight. They're asking for a wet signature copy. So I will be signing it a little bit later for the town.
Correct.
Let's call the question. Jim?
Jim Rigsby's aye.
Derek?
I'm aye.
Jimmy?
I'm aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I am also aye.
Closing comments.
Do we have any need to open the floor again? We don't.
No.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we,
Closing comments by the council members. Jim?
I just want to say that the town has worked hard to try to improve the service for the citizens. And I hope going forward, this will be a result of our hard work. Is it better customer service and a better experience overall.
Mr. Foy?
I too look forward to better service from the new provider. I do want to thank Republic Services for all they've done in all my interactions with Republic Services. They have been very much gentlemen, and I certainly wish their company the best, and I look forward to GFL servicing the town.
Mr. Landreth?
I don't have anything.
Mr. Jones?
I would just like to thank Derek Foy from one council member to another for the effort he's put in with this contract, helping us get it refined and updated to this meeting.
Thanks, Tim.
I would just reiterate Mr. Jones's comments. Thank you very much, Mr. Foy.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
Jim?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I am also aye. We are adjourned.